Hey, yo, SixftHax here, half for y'all today, week number 8 of APA Season 5. So yeah, unfortunately, this match is going to be post-commentated. Mentioned that in the team builder that went up yesterday, which if you didn't see that, check it out. Still having issues with my 3DS capture card. Haven't got around to being able to sit down and like change the drivers or update the drivers or figure out exactly what's wrong with it. Basically, the issue is that it's super laggy. I don't know why it stopped showing up. I tried to update drivers and then it just became super laggy. So I don't know, hopefully putting drivers or changing the drivers or something. Somebody mentioned something that I could do, and I'm going to try and do that hopefully sometime next week and try to bring you guys back live Wi-Fi battles as soon as possible. So just again, I'm sorry. I know y'all like live battles instead of post-com, so just yeah, bear with me. I'm really sorry. So this match is against Emvee, coach of the San Diego Chimchargers. Of course, you all know who Emvee is. His channel and stuff will be down below. So going into this matchup, looking at his team, I was actually really surprised to see that he didn't bring quite a few things I was expecting. I think Garchomp and Crobat and Mega T-Tar were like 3 things I really thought he was going to bring. But honestly, I kind of feel more comfortable seeing these things that I really wasn't expecting, because I feel like these are less threatening than things like Garchomp, Crobat, and Mega T-Tar, which I was initially prepared for. And this stuff I was like, oh, if they come, it's not going to be that big of an issue. So things aren't looking entirely too bad, even though my sets may have been tailor-made to certain mons from what I did expect. Even though that he doesn't have them, those sets can still put in work into this battle. So if y'all do enjoy this, hit that thumbs up button down below, because I think this is actually the first time me and Emvee are ever battling each other. So he ends up leading off with the Seismitoad, which I did expect. And that's actually why I lit off with my Weavile, because I figured I could just go straight for the knockoff turn 1 and maybe get a 2-hit KO early off the bat, as he turns out to not only be focus sashed, but he unfortunately has the Drain Punch and my Weavile just dropped. So that is a little bit bad, because having Weavile around would have been super nice to deal with everything except the Zero Aura, because I'm pretty sure I did outspeed everything and I had super effective hits for pretty much his entire team, and I did still have Ice Shard for Zero Aura, so maybe that little bit of damage would have come in handy, but it's not that big of an issue. We still have a solid chance in this game, as I'm able to bring in my Tauros. I'm going to go straight for the Body Slam, trying to do as much damage as I can to whatever comes in here. I figured that maybe he would bring in Reuniclus or the Porygon too, but he actually brings in Empoleon, which I am perfectly fine with, because 2 Earthquakes are going to be able to knock him out. And if he does have Rocks on Empoleon and he wants to get Rocks up, I'm going to straight 2-hit KO him, because I'm going to try and be aggressive in this matchup to hopefully break through some of the bulky fat things that he does have. So then late game, hopefully my Blaziken can come in, agility, and sweep. So I know that I can't knock out this Porygon 2 with another offensive move, but judging from how much damage that Earthquake did and the fact that he was down low, I figured he would be offensive. Unfortunately though, the thought of him going for Trick Room did not come into my mind until it was too late, and he does turn out to have the Trick Room, which is rather annoying, because now with him being at +1 and most likely being close to max special attack, this thing is going to be doing a lot of damage to me. So I have to try and hopefully play around this thing, because this can pretty much just sweep me at this point, honestly. So I bring in my Nidoqueen, expecting him just to go for another Shadow Ball, which I am able to easily take. Even after that damage, I still very comfortably checked the Zero Aura, so I was fine taking 1 Shadow Ball. And then this turn, I expect him to want to try and go for the Tri Attack or potentially the Ice Beam, as he does go for the Tri Attack, just hoping and praying I did not get statused here, as the Trick Room does end up running out. I do expect him to want to go for the Recover, because if it was Trick Room 3 attacks, that wouldn't make much sense. Typically Porygon 2 is Trick Room, Recover, and whatever 2 offensive moves you need it to be, which is good for me because I'm able to explode and do a good chunk of damage to the Porygon 2. Unfortunately, I had brought the incorrectly EV'd Metagross, because I changed the set literally like 20 minutes before the battle, so I should have had more attack investment, but ultimately it doesn't really matter too much, I suppose, in this game. As I bring in my Blaziken here, I'm going to go straight for the Flare Blitz. He has no switch-ins for my Blaziken. A Flare Blitz into a Fire MZ Flare Blitz, comfortably 2-hit KOs Reuniclus, and then whatever else came in was going to get absolutely destroyed. Anyways, as he brings in the Toad, my gut was telling me I need to stay in here and click high jump kick, because he's going to get up rocks. It's Emvee. He's not going to pass up a chance to not get up his rocks. But if I lose my Blaziken, I lose my best way of winning this battle. So I can't just leave it in like that. And if I did, I could have knocked out the Toad with the high jump kick here, and we could have gone from there. But hindsight's 2020, and there's nothing you can do about it now. Regardless, though, I can still just kind of click Seed Flare. I'm not sure why he's not bringing in the Regice. Actually, the way he had been playing Regice in the back and him just constantly trying to, I guess, sack off this Empoleon had me really terrified of the fact that if that is Rock Polish Icium Regice, I just kind of lose, I'm pretty sure. Or if he's like Electrium Z or something to hit my Blaziken, if this goes for a Rock Polish here, it's basically GG because there's nothing I can do about it. But it turns out that he's actually Thunder Wave, and that's a giant relief off of me because this still gives me a pretty good chance in this battle here. So obviously Shaman, even though I am Scarfed, I have the natural cure, so I don't care about the Thunder Wave. So I'm expecting him to try and go for the Ice Beam here, thinking that I am going to switch out. And Tauros should be able to live a hit, and if he did maybe go for the Thunder Wave, I would rather my Tauros get paralyzed than my Blaziken, because Blaziken does have agility, so I don't want it to be slower than everything on his team later. So I do take the hit, and this allows me to just go ahead and go for the Body Slam. If I can get off any damage on the Regice, that's going to be amazing for my Shaman, because if I'm able to put the Regice below 50%, it's not going to be able to switch into 2 Seed Flares. And if I am able to 2-hit KO the Regice or just get rid of the Regice, my Scarf Shaman at this point could very well just win me the battle on its own. So that's what I'm going to hopefully try and do, either that or maybe if I can get off an agility with my Blaziken later, that will also give me a solid chance. So I bring in my Nidoqueen here, expecting him just to go for the knockoff. I still have use for my Tauros, I think, and by bringing in my Regice here, I can either, not my Regice, sorry, by bringing in my Nidoqueen here, I can either be aggressive or I can try and get up my Stealth Rocks. But what I decide to do instead is a bit of a questionable play, and I pull a double switch thinking that he would try to bring in his Reuniclus, and by me bringing in my Shaman, I could just be aggressive and go for the Seed Flare. I think that was definitely not the correct play that I should have made, because now I'm forced to sack something off to this Regice, which is going to be my Tauros, and I didn't want to bring in Tauros instead of Regice because my Tauros can't 2-hit KO the Reuniclus, and if it starts Calm Minding or Trick Rooms, then I lose anyways. At least Shaman could take a hit from the Reuniclus. But if I'd stayed in and gone for Rocks, I guess I still would have been in a bad position of if he was Calm Mind or Trick Room. It still lived the hit from Nidoqueen, so yeah, I don't know. Shaman made a lot of sense in my mind. Unfortunately, though, he brought in Regice, and that all just went down the tube. So I bring in my Blaziken. I'm going to go straight for the Flare Blitz. Again, much like earlier, Flare Blitz into Z Flare Blitz basically just gets me a free kill. But it turns out that his Reuniclus is actually not max defense, max HP, which means another Flare Blitz will be able to knock him out here. So I can save my Z Flare Blitz for the Zero Aura later in the battle if by some miracle I can live a hit or maybe try to get up agility. So in comes the Zero Aura. Obviously, I do not want to stay in here, and much like earlier, oh, my gut was saying stay in. My gut was saying stay in, but it's just way too risky. I need Blaziken. Blaziken at this point is my only way of winning this battle, because I wasn't able to get up Rocks to get that extra damage on the Regice, which is what I should have done earlier, because even if I had lost my Nidoqueen here, it wouldn't have been entirely too bad, or I could have just sacked off Blaziken to Zero Aura, kept my Nidoqueen for his Zero Aura, and then Shaman could still beat Reuniclus potentially 1v1 because of Seed Flares. But then again, I can miss, like, there's so many factors. I'm sorry, but regardless, I still have a good chance to win this game. So I'm gonna bring in my Shaman here, and expecting him to switch out into the Regice, knowing that it can live any 2 hits. What I'm gonna do is actually go for the Healing Wish. This way, I can Healing Wish into my Blaziken. Now, even though yes, this Regice does have the Thunder Wave, if I can get up 3 agility, well, it comes down to what exactly this Regice is running and whether or not he hits the first Thunder Wave in the first place, because he can always miss that first Thunder Wave as I go for the agility, and at that point it's basically my game. I win, and that's best case scenario. But if he hits that Thunder Wave, there's a couple factors that need to go in my favor if I want to be able to win, but hopefully that doesn't come to fruition, because he will miss this Thunder Wave, right? No, he does not. If I had been, oh dude, if I was Lumberry, oh, that might have actually, well, no, it's whatever now. But regardless, now what needs to happen is that I need to get up either 1 more agility or get up 2 more agilities to put me at enough speed to where I can always 100% outspeed Zero Aura. If I only stay at +4 speed, that means that depending on the speed investment that Zero Aura has, it could maybe still outspeed me. So I'm going to try and take my best chances, which is, I think, trying to go for the 3rd agility. Unfortunately, I get fully paralyzed, and then it turns out he has Charge Beam, which is good for me because that means he probably doesn't have the Thunderbolt, but this Ice Beam does a little bit too much damage, so I don't want to play around with paralysis anymore. I'm just going to say screw it. Let's go ahead and try to go for the Feller Blitz and just hope that his Zeraora is not faster than me after +4 and being paralyzed, because what I can do is go straight for my Fire EMZ Inferno Overdrive and murder him. So it comes down to this turn right here, and he's still faster than me, and he's gonna be able to knock me out with the Plasma Fist. So that's going to be the very narrow 1-0 loss for us, unfortunately, here. So at this point, you guys are probably thinking we are out of playoffs. Well, we are not. Thankfully, we are not out of playoffs. Basically, what needs to happen for us to get into playoffs at like number 8, at least number 8, maybe number 7 by some miracle. But we need to win out the rest of our season, which means our last 4 weeks, we need to hopefully somehow just get nothing but victories for all 4 of those battles, and then that way we sneak in to 8th spot, 7 and 5, because we are currently 3 and 5. But if we win our last 4 games, that puts us at 7 and 5, putting us at least number 8 and still giving us a chance to make playoffs. So that'll be covered if we can win out the rest of the season. However, though, if we lose 1 more of our 4 battles, then that means we need to get into into playoffs by differential. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit difficult maybe. So hopefully we can just win out the rest of our season. I still have faith, guys. Hopefully y'all still have faith. This was one hell of a game, honestly, man. Good game to Emvee. This is probably one of the funnest draft games I've had in a while now, in like a couple months, because it came down so insanely close there. So no bad blood about me losing here. A very awesome game. Check out Emvee, check out his side, and with that being said, I'll see you all tomorrow with week 1 of the GBA season 9, and I'll see you next week with week number 9 of the APA. So thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.